That's how I test to see if my audio and camera's mixed. Didn't ask.
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious!
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 982 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video, we are finally here to confirm two names we've been speaking about for 6 to 8 weeks on the channel. The deals are done and it's all confirmed. But not only that, we will be reacting to the PFAs Player of the Year's finalists. There's 4 of them, there's 2 Rangers boys, and yet I'm still no happy, but I'll explain later on. But as always, if you are new around here, make sure you be hitting that subscribe button and help the nation on our way towards 55k. We've been killing it lately. Let's just keep all that positive momentum up and let's just dive right into today's video then, shall we? This is my new move. It's good for the shoulder blades. 3, 2, 1. Story number 1 then, it's actually going to be a double announcement special. That's right, Rangers have officially announced 2 signings in the last 24 hours. Now, none of them should really come as a surprise because they're pretty much 2 of the worst kept secrets in Scottish football, especially in the last couple of weeks. But let's start off with the one that was announced 24 hours ago, and it was Jake Hastie to the Glasgow Rangers. 4-year deal. Now, we've already made 2 videos in the past looking at Jake Hastie, breaking down his stats, what he's good at, what's his statistics in the league. And if I'm honest, I didn't just want to repeat the same stuff because I didn't want to bore you guys. I want to try and keep the content as fresh as possible, but just in case you did actually miss the Jake Hastie's videos, that's the titles there and there. You guys can check out and you can know more about the newest Rangers signing. What we will be doing in today's video though is looking at what Gerrard has said ahead of the transfer and also the Director of Football, Mr. Mark Allen. So let's dive into the quotes. So starting off with the gaffer. We are delighted to be able to add Jack to the squad next season. He is a talented young player who has performed well for Motherwell. I'd like to have seen him say that. In the second half of the season, we are always looking to add individuals to a group of players who will improve us, and Jake will undoubtedly do that. And I actually really agree with the gaffer because you think about it, the right hand side of Rangers where Jake Hastie can play is probably the weakest point in the squad right now. He will push Daniel Candeias to get better each and every single time, maybe more consistent in the old crossing from Daniel Candeias. But Jake Hastie is a very talented player, 7 goals in 14 appearances since January. If Gerrard can not only get him to be more consistent, get him to fit with the squad, but also take him to the next level, we could really have a top-notch player on our hands. Now, moving over to the Director of Football, who's supposed to be instrumental in the old signing of Jake Hastie, this is what he's had to say. We are delighted to add such a talented and young Scottish player to our team for next season. We are committed to improving the strength of our squad, and this is a part of that process. There will be some departures, and we will have a few arrivals which will add greater quality. Now this is me just reading into what he's actually said, and this is just my thoughts and opinions on it, but the fact that he's mentioned departures, I think he knows that we are very crowded in the wing position. We've already signed Jordan Jones, we're hoping to sign Ryan Kent, so I think that's a little bit of a hint there that maybe like Gresda or something like that will be moving on, and that will open up space for young Jake Hastie. But what do you think about the deal now that it's officially done and dusted? Have you warmed to the idea? Do you think he's even going to play? In what position do you actually think young Jake Hastie will actually play for the famous? But that is not all. Rangers weren't done there. No. Less than 24 hours after announcing Jake Hastie, they announced the 1-year signing of Stephen Davis on a permanent. Finally, a lot of people will be saying, maybe other people will be slightly disgruntled because we've seen the kind of ups and downs of Stephen Davis' season so far, because when he came in there were so much expectations. Everyone wanted 2008 Stephen Davis back at the club running box to box, dictating play, and it never quite happened because you could clearly see he wasn't match fit. And even when he did come on, it just never quite clicked because the formation wasn't really built towards him because he's not that player anymore. However, in the last 5-6 weeks of the season, we have changed the formation to suit Defoe with Arfield. We've brought Davis into a different role, a deep line playmaker role, and you can genuinely see the kid still got it. And if I'm honest with you, I'm pretty damn happy because the announcement of him signing, I think we're going to be playing this formation a lot more, because I think if we go back to the previous one where it's just a 3-man midfield, we don't have that extra body in there and he's required to do a lot of running, getting out of position and stuff like that, I think we'll lose the excitement that we've had playing in the last couple of weeks. But the fact that we've signed him and he's agreed another deal, I think we're going to be sticking with this formation for the long haul, and having him in there and just having unpredictability within Rangers Football Club again and how we attack is just going to mean bigger and better things for the Glasgow Rangers. Now once again, we're not going to break down all these stats and statistics because we've already done that in another video. CJ's on top of things, ladies and gentlemen. First time anyone's ever said that. But just like the Jake Hastie deal, let's see what the gaffer has had to say about this transfer. Rangers fans have started to see a fully fit Stephen Davis over the past month. He looks sharp, is covering all around the pitch, winning the ball back, intercepting balls and looking aggressive. That is why we brought him back in January, and this is why I want him to be a part of the squad going forward. And with that being said, all that's left is for you guys to share your opinions on both the transfers. Story number 2 time, and it's the PFAs Player of the Year. 4 finalists have actually been announced. And when it was announced, it was a bit of a surprise as there's 2 Rangers boys, 2 Celtic boys. Now, the way I'm actually going to break this one down, I'm not going to really go through the Celtic players because I just feel like whatever I actually say is just going to be attacked saying, oh, you're biased, blah, blah, blah. So let's actually just focus on Alfredo Morelos and Mr. Ryan Kent. Shout out to Ryan Kent as well, by the way, because he's also up for the Young Player of the Year as well from the PFA, along with Jake Hastie. So, Rangers boys, day in bits. Now, before we actually move on and speak about the one player I think's been absolutely disrespected by this Final Four, let's actually address the couple of Rangers boys, and let's start off with Mr. Box Office himself, Alfredo Morelos. And to be fair to Mr. Box Office, 40 goal contributions in 45 games is absolutely incredible, especially when you add the 17 yellow cards and the 5 sending offs all together. But just in case we're going to give this award out just for the league itself, let's focus on just the league stats, what the PFA will actually probably spin this on. Obviously they're going to give a couple of deductions on the amount of games he's played because he's only played 27. That's usually because there's been a couple of suspensions. But even within the 27 games that he's actually played, he's still been involved in 25 goals. 17 of them he scored by himself and 8 assists. His stats just suggest he has been absolutely incredible all season long, and he genuinely has. The only deduction, again, we've already mentioned it, is going to be the red cards, and I'm pretty sure they will not give the award to Alfredo Morelos, which is quite annoying. But what do you think? His incredible stats in the league speak for themselves. Should Alfredo Morelos win the PFA's Player of the Year? The next player that was actually announced from Rangers was a surprise because I thought it was going to be the captain, James Tavernier, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But the other player that was listed was Ryan Kent. And no, I'm not saying that Tavernier is better than Ryan Kent or Ryan Kent's rubbish and he doesn't deserve to be announced. Yes, he certainly does. He's been absolutely incredible for Rangers, but it just really surprised me because to back up why he was actually suggested, when you look at his stats, they aren't really that great. They didn't jump out at you. Only 23 games, 6 goals and 6 assists. Isn't he that great? You actually genuinely have to spend a lot of time watching Rangers to see how good Ryan Kent is, and when you do it from that point of view, I completely understand. But genuinely, Ryan Kent wasn't on anyone's radars. I mean, I listened to these talk sports and these radio shows, and he wasn't on anyone's radars because his stats didn't suggest that they're actually good enough to win it. The one person whose stats certainly suggest he probably should be in the running is going to be James Tavernier. Now, his overall stats sits at 16 goals, 20 assists. That's absolutely brilliant. But when you just focus on the league themselves, it's even better than that. Now, rightly so, you might be saying, how do you get better than his overall stats, CJ? I just think with the less games played, because he's obviously played in European football, he's played in a lot of cup games, when you just focus on the league, he has played 33 games and he's been involved in 27 goals. For a right back, how is he not listed in the Final Four? That is just genuinely disgusting. To have that input, that being involved in so much that goes right for the Glasgow Rangers, not to be announced in the Final Four with those stats, involved in 27 goals in 33 games. Is it just me, or is that absolutely ludicrous? He's genuinely only 1 goal behind a £9 million striker. He scored 13 goals in the league. Yes, you can say they're penalties or whatever, but did they make that excuse up when they talked about Dembele of Celtic when he took all their penalties? Did they talk about that with Griffiths? No, but the guy is a right back and he's scoring 13 goals in a season. Whether they're penalties or no, it should be applauded. No having little digs at it, because it's just stupid. We didn't make these excuses up for Lewandowski, Ronaldo, Messi, all these boys that takes penalties every single season. They get about 15 of themselves. We didn't make that excuse up, but because we finally have someone smashing things in Scotland, we've got to just take little hits and say, just penalties, just penalties, just penalties. And it's so weird because they talk about the penalty kicks, but they didn't talk about the 14 assists in the 33 games as well, because that's all hushed and shushed upon. That's still better than every single person in the league as well. So I have no idea why James Tavernier actually isn't in there. Might not just like the guy, but for me personally, he had to be up there. Now you might be wondering who's the favourite to win the award. Is it Alfredo Morelos? Is it Ryan Kent? No. It's actually Callum McGregor of Celtic. And again, I'm not going to break down his stats because they're nowhere near even Tavernier's stats, and he's not even listed. So it would just come out as bitter and blah blah blah. So I'm not going to do that. What I will announce, by the way, is actually Callum McGregor revealed who he voted for to be the Player of the Year. He voted for Alan McGregor. Yeah. Now, if I'm honest, I still hate him and think he's a prick, but that vote is actually pretty damn decent. Alan McGregor probably should have been in the conversation, but so is maybe Liam Kelly and Xander Clark. These boys, goalkeepers, never get the respect that they actually deserve. However, that is us all done and dusted for story number 2. All that's left is for you guys to say who will win the PFA's Player of the Year. Who do you think it's going to be and why? Me personally, I'd love Alfredo Morelos or Ryan Kent to get it. Tavernier probably should have won it, but again, if I'm just going to go with the 4 that's been announced, I don't think they'll give it to Alfredo Morelos because of his disciplinary, and they'll try and make some kind of excuse up about Ryan Kent rivalries, appearances or something like that. So with that being said, I unfortunately think it's going to be Callum McGregor. That's who's going to be winning it. It's got the press behind him, it's got the media machine, and that's usually the way it actually leads. So with that sad bombshell, let's end today's video then, shall we, before it gets even worse. But to be fair, I'm usually wrong about everything, so Callum McGregor, you're screwed, son. It's coming home with Kenta kills. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video enough to be hitting that like button. Greatly appreciated, and it helps the channel out as we make our way towards 55k. If you'd like to buy some charity tickets, the link for that is down in the description, alongside the 50 strong on the Patreon's account, helping to support the channel directly. I've been CJ Over92. Thanks so much for watching, and bye.